Imagine a place where ice stretches to the horizon, covering vast, silent, white landscapes. This is Greenland, the world's largest island, located at the far north, surrounded by the Arctic. But behind this pristine image lies a surprising and controversial reality. In recent years, Greenland has captured global attention due to the rapid melting of its glaciers. Annually, millions of tons of ice vanish, directly contributing to rising ocean levels. Climate change is tangible here, and the future of this icy island is under threat. Scientists worldwide closely monitor the melting, but the pressing question remains: how much time is left before the impacts are irreversible? Moreover, Greenland faces a unique social crisis. Currently, the number of abortions performed on the island exceeds the number of births, an alarming fact that reflects the local population's challenges regarding family planning and reproductive health. This statistic is connected to a scandal from the past that has recently resurfaced. The Danish government is being sued by 143 Greenlandic women who claim they were forced to use intrauterine devices in the 1960s without proper consent. This population control policy, imposed during the colonial era, sparks debates about the abuses suffered by the island's women under Danish control. In this video, we will explore the many layers of this land of extremes, from the devastating impact of global warming to the social tensions and dark secrets dating back to its complex relationship with the Danish state. Get ready to see Greenland as you've never imagined, where glaciers are melting as quickly as hidden truths are coming to light. With glaciers melting at an accelerated pace, Greenland has become a global symbol of the effects of climate change. However, to grasp the full extent of this impact, it's crucial to understand the unique geography of this colossal island. Situated between the Atlantic Ocean and the Arctic, Greenland is the world's largest island, covering an area of about 2.16 million square kilometers, of which approximately 80% is blanketed by a vast ice sheet known as the Greenland ice sheet. This immense ice mass, which has been one of the island's most defining characteristics for centuries, is now under threat. The melting of glaciers, driven by rising global temperatures, has significantly contributed to rising sea levels, affecting coastal communities worldwide. Beyond the ice, Greenland boasts a stunning landscape of fjords, rugged mountains, and jagged coastlines. Although the population is relatively small, around 56,000 inhabitants, most people live in the coastal regions where the climate is somewhat milder, and fishing and hunting are central to survival. The temperatures vary drastically, with extremely harsh winters, and although the summers are short, they bring periods of thawing that impact the local ecosystem. Geopolitically, Greenland is an autonomous region within the Kingdom of Denmark, with control over much of its internal affairs, but still heavily reliant on Denmark for defense and foreign policy. Its strategic location in the Arctic has drawn the interest of global powers like the United States and China, due to its proximity to maritime routes and untapped natural resources. As the ice melts, new possibilities for oil, gas, and mineral exploration are beginning to emerge, raising questions about the island's future and the environmental impact of these activities. Greenland, with its extreme geography and climate vulnerability, is much more than just a block of ice in the Arctic. It is a land of stunning beauty and mounting challenges, where the icy landscapes that define it are rapidly disappearing, bringing to the forefront global issues of sustainability and survival. The history of Greenland is as vast and ancient as its glaciers. For thousands of years, the island was inhabited by indigenous peoples, especially the Inuit, who arrived in the territory more than 4,000 years ago, developing a unique culture of survival in the harsh Arctic conditions. These early inhabitants lived off hunting and fishing, building their communities along the coastal regions and developing adaptation techniques to the icy environment, which remain an essential part of Greenlandic culture today. In the 10th century, Vikings led by Eric the Red reached Greenland and established colonies on the southwest coast. These Viking colonies, despite surviving for several centuries, mysteriously disappeared, likely due to climate change and resource scarcity. However, the Inuit culture remained predominant, enduring the adversities of life in the Arctic. In the 18th century, Greenland was formally colonized by Denmark, which consolidated its control over the island. During the colonial period, local populations were subjected to policies of cultural assimilation and social control by the Danish government. In 1953, Greenland ceased to be a colony and was officially integrated as a province of Denmark, granting the inhabitants full Danish citizenship rights. This milestone was significant, but it did not mean complete independence. Despite the new status, Danish influence continued to dominate the island's internal and external affairs. In 1979, following growing pressure for autonomy, Greenland achieved the right to form its own government through the establishment of Home Rule. This system allowed Greenlanders to take greater control over their internal policies, although Denmark still maintained control over defense, foreign policy, and certain economic aspects. Self-government was officially implemented in 1981, marking a new era of self-governance for Greenland. However, the relationship with Denmark continued to be a source of tension. Danish rule throughout the 20th century left deep scars, particularly regarding social control policies. One of the darkest chapters of this history resurfaced recently when 143 Greenlandic women sued the Danish government, claiming they had been forced to use intrauterine devices in the 1960s without proper consent. This practice was part of a Danish government-imposed population control program aimed at modernizing the local society. Greenland's economic dependence on Denmark remains a critical factor. Although it has gained autonomy in many areas, the island still relies on Danish subsidies, which limits its decisions regarding economic development, especially in the exploitation of natural resources such as oil, gas, and minerals. This dependency is a hurdle for those advocating for the island's full independence, a topic that still divides the population. As geopolitical tensions rise with the warming climate and the melting ice, Greenland finds itself at a crossroads. The island's strategic position in the Arctic and its untapped natural resource reserves have caught the interest of global powers such as the United States and China, sparking debates over the future control of its resources and the implications for Greenland's sovereignty and environmental integrity. The quest for full independence from Denmark is becoming an increasingly prominent issue, but the complexities of economic and political ties make this pursuit particularly challenging. As Greenland navigates these international waters, it must also grapple with internal pressures, including the need to protect its environment and sustain its indigenous cultures while developing its economy. The history of Greenland, from the arrival of the first Inuit peoples to the contemporary push for greater autonomy, is marked by enduring resilience against external forces. Today, as the glaciers continue to recede and political tensions escalate, Greenland faces both new challenges and opportunities. The island is striving to balance its rich cultural heritage with the global pressures of a changing world, seeking ways to ensure a sustainable and autonomous future. With its vast and untouched landscape, this Arctic territory is a destination that draws adventurers and nature lovers from around the globe. Despite being the largest island on the planet, it is also one of the least populated regions, offering visitors the chance to explore its natural beauty in an almost secluded environment. Local tourism revolves around its breathtaking landscapes, authentic Inuit culture, and the opportunity to witness firsthand the effects of climate change. One of the most sought-after destinations is Ilulissat, a small town on the west coast, famed for its ice fjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Ilulissat Ice Fjord is one of the places where visitors can closely observe massive glaciers calving and floating in the ocean, a mesmerizing spectacle that also serves as a reminder of the region's vulnerability to global warming. Boat tours provide a stunning view of these ice formations, while nearby mountain trails offer perfect vantage points for panoramic views. During the winter, Arctic nights are illuminated by the incredible northern lights, visible from September to April. Cities like Kangerlussuaq and Nuuk, the capital, are prime spots for witnessing this natural phenomenon, considered one of the most beautiful on the planet. Additionally, adventure tourism is strong in the region. In the summer, hiking trails through the mountains and secluded fjords attract those who enjoy walking or climbing. In the winter, dog sledding, ski expeditions, and snowmobiling are some of the most popular activities. Another highlight is the rich Inuit culture, which piques the curiosity of travelers seeking authentic experiences. Local communities preserve millennial-old traditions, such as hunting and fishing, adapted to the extreme climate. Moreover, traditional festivals and cultural events allow visitors to delve deeper into the lifestyle of these peoples who have inhabited Arctic regions for centuries. However, exploring this territory requires careful planning. The weather can be challenging, especially in winter, with temperatures dropping below zero and very short days. Access to the island is also limited, requiring stops in Denmark or Iceland. Additionally, healthcare and emergency services are limited, making it essential to prepare for adventures in more remote areas. Another aspect that draws attention is the impact of climate change, which can be observed up close by those visiting the region. Responsible tourism is crucial to minimize effects on the environment and local communities. Although tourism is a growing source of income, it's important that this activity be conducted sustainably so that future generations can also appreciate the preserved beauty of this place. For travelers seeking an authentic experience, the island offers an unforgettable journey, complete with stunning landscapes and a unique culture. However, visiting such a remote location demands respect for nature and the local inhabitants, as well as careful preparation to face the challenges that this extreme environment may present. The economy of the world's largest island is shaped by its extreme natural conditions and the scarcity of habitable land. Fishing is the most important sector, accounting for the majority of exports. Shrimp and halibut, fished from the icy waters surrounding the island, supply international markets. Although tourism is an emerging industry, it still represents a smaller portion of the economy but has been growing in recent years, attracting those seeking adventures in one of the most remote and unexplored environments on the planet. Mining also holds significant potential. As the glaciers melt, new areas are becoming accessible for the exploration of natural resources, such as oil, gas, and rare minerals. International companies have shown interest in exploring the riches hidden beneath the ice, including uranium, iron, and rare earth elements, which are essential for the manufacture of cutting-edge technology. However, this exploration raises debates about the environmental and social impacts these activities might cause, especially in an ecosystem as fragile as Greenland's. Despite its economic potential, the island faces financial challenges. Greenland still heavily depends on Denmark for subsidies, which make up about 60% of the public budget. This limits the economic independence of the local government and creates a dilemma for the future. The pursuit of greater autonomy and complete independence may require increased exploitation of natural resources, which could jeopardize the delicate environmental balance. In terms of average income, salaries vary depending on location and sector. In Nuuk, the capital, the average monthly income is around 20,000 Danish kroner, approximately $3,100. However, the cost of living is also high, with prices for food and consumer goods significantly higher due to the need to import most products. For instance, the average monthly cost for food per person is around 4,000 Danish kroner, or about $620. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the center of Nuuk can cost about 7,000 Danish kroner, approximately $1,100 per month, while in more remote areas, such as coastal villages, prices tend to be lower, but housing options and infrastructure are limited. The island's economy, therefore, faces a dilemma between preserving its environment and culture and seeking growth alternatives that ensure greater financial independence. The debate over the development of industries such as mining and oil exploration divides opinions, with some seeing these activities as an opportunity for progress, while others fear the devastating impacts they could have on the local ecology and the way of life of the Inuit communities. Although Greenland is a place of stunning landscapes and rich traditions, it also faces a series of profound challenges that affect the lives of its population. One of the most evident problems is the devastating impact of climate change. The rapid melting of glaciers, caused by global warming, threatens not just the environmental balance, but also the traditional way of life of the Inuit, who rely on the ice for hunting and fishing. Scientists estimate that if the entire Greenland ice sheet were to melt, the ocean levels could rise by up to 7 meters, causing a global catastrophe. Each summer, large portions of this ice sheet break away, revealing the fragility of the region's climate balance. And while scientists warn of the global risks of rising oceans, the island's residents live with the direct consequences daily, with entire ecosystems being altered and traditional activities becoming increasingly difficult to sustain. Besides environmental issues, Greenland finds itself at the center of an economic and social dilemma. The debate over natural resource exploitation is intense. On one hand, the melting ice has revealed vast economic potential with possibilities for oil, gas, and rare mineral exploitation. These resources could bring the much-desired financial independence, reducing dependency on Danish subsidies. On the other hand, there is a growing fear that mining and oil extraction could destroy the fragile Arctic ecosystem and disfigure the natural landscape, one of the major tourist attractions and an essential part of the local identity. The division of opinions reflects the complexity of this debate: how to grow economically without destroying what makes Greenland unique. But the challenges are not only environmental or economic. The local population faces serious social issues. Greenland has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, particularly affecting the youth. Alcoholism is also a concerning issue, contributing to a range of public health and safety problems. These issues are deeply rooted in historical matters, such as Danish colonization and the process of modernization, which often resulted in a disconnection between Inuit traditions and modern life. Rapid urbanization and the pressure to adapt to new lifestyles have brought an identity crisis for many, especially in the more remote communities, where connection to culture and land is vital. Another controversial issue is Greenland's financial dependency on Denmark. While Greenland gained autonomy in 1979, it still heavily relies on Danish subsidies to finance much of its public spending. This dependency creates internal tensions, especially among those advocating for full independence. However, the economic reality makes this goal difficult to achieve. The debate over independence is complex, involving not just financial but also cultural and political issues. The Inuit, who make up the majority of the population, also face challenges in preserving their traditions and ways of life. With modernization and pressure to integrate into the globalized world, many young people feel disconnected from their cultural roots. Fishing and hunting, activities that have sustained these communities for generations, are increasingly threatened, not just by climate change but also by regulations limiting the use of certain traditional methods. This cultural disconnection is one of the reasons for the high rates of suicide and alcoholism, especially among the youth, who find themselves in a limbo between two worlds. Greenland's future, therefore, remains uncertain. The island stands at a crossroads, attempting to balance its cultural identity, the impacts of climate change, and the economic opportunities that arise. For many, the biggest question is how to find a path that respects their traditions and environment while offering a prosperous and sustainable future for coming generations. Greenland's future may be uncertain, but the determination and resilience of its people offer a vision of hope. They have demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt and a commitment to protecting what makes the island unique. With combined efforts, both locally and globally, it is possible to envision a scenario where a balance between tradition and modernity, economic development and environmental conservation is achieved. Greenland, with its vast icy landscape and rich culture, remains a place where the past and future intersect. It serves as a reminder that even in the most extreme parts of the planet, there is an ongoing struggle for survival, identity, and the right to shape one's own destiny. Amidst the challenges, there lies a journey of hope, of a people striving not just to endure, but to thrive in a constantly changing world. Now, tell us what you think about everything you've discovered about Greenland here in the comments. Also, share whether you would like to visit this fascinating place or even consider living there. And don't forget to click on the link in the first pinned comment. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love discovering the dark side of Ireland that mainstream media doesn't show. Watch now.